have lost that inner sense of timing. What they just have is, don't you know I'm 60-year-old? Don't you know I'm 70-something-year-old? It means the person has lost kairos, the sense of timing, what he should be doing at the time. With all of these challenges, a man did one sociologist, Eric Erikson, he divided life into stages. I wouldn't want to bother us with the other ones, but for people between 40 and 65, he says you should be involved in generativity, which means that you are looking at what to do for the future, for the next generation rather. It means you are appraising your life and you are looking at what is it all about. What have I actually done with my life? My children, my grandchildren, for my community, or people around me, rather than struggling to still acquire. I hope there are not too many politicians here. Some of our politicians now, at the age where some of them are, should be thinking and be concerned about what people will say after them when they are there. Unfortunately, most of them won't realize it until they are out of office. And just for some of us too who have held offices, we wish we had done some things until they say bye-bye. And then you are now somewhere in one city room somewhere and thinking, and I could have done this, and I could have done that. Life is also like that. So at this bracket, we're expected to be thinking of giving back to the society, no matter how small. You may not be a Dangote. We can choose our family, our grandchildren, our in-laws, son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, our immediate society. How do we go about this? It means in the midst of the challenges we are facing, and because of our capacity to reflect deeply, we can deliberately choose how we respond to our environment. Is that not so? Because some of the things I'm saying is that this man does not know the problem I'm facing. Problem not the finish, isn't it? Yes. And if you have the mentality of problem, you will never do anything good for your life. As a matter of fact, it is the thing that makes us to dig our graveyard. Keep struggling, isn't it? Yes. Even in retirement, we still struggling and keep struggling, and we get obsessed with what we can get, but rather what we can give. So for your bracket, it is what you can give, irrespective of your situation in life. And it's more of a mentality than your cash backing. Because a good number of people can be millionaires here and they are still struggling, isn't it? And they still want to go and get more and get more. It means that something that has gone wrong in their mindset. We've been meeting the last 2-3 months. I can see Ashiwaju has changed. He's thought down a lot of things and he's contented. And he's happier. He's more relaxed. I've been harassing him that he has called me out too early, and he's saying, I'm sorry, he didn't used to do that. Either he will abuse me, he's calmer, and it means he's negotiating the bends. I think it's as sweet as he used to be. Your
drug is working.
He has also taken a lot of steps about his life. A lot of reflection, a lot of priorities, cutting on. So to choose this response that I think four capacities God gave to us. Self-awareness. The capacity for self-awareness. What is that? I wrote an article sometimes on Punch. I wrote on Punch for like 6-7 years on mental health. And one of them that actually had a lot of traffic was the consultation life. As when people come to us, they don't want us to consult the private life. I mean, you say that's my private life, please don't touch it. I mean, incidentally, what destroys us mentally and finishes and puts our physical health in jeopardy is our private life. They said, don't touch my private life. Yes. And one of the things the psychologists came up with is about the consultation, is about self-awareness. Self-awareness is not just your strength in terms of your talent, but are you aware of yourself and the overall purpose of your life? Have you been able to look at your experiences and analyze? I call it self-audit. You know, auditors are here. I think I had somebody in the financial. They audit their account and say, this is your company, even though you still have some money, but in another 2-3 years, you can lose die. Isn't it? Yes. God has given all of us, because we are humans, the capacity to self-reflect. Thank you. The capacity to self-reflect by self-auditing from Offa. Career. Somebody said he wanted to be a doctor. They diverted him to a journey. And for all of us, we have a journey. At this point, we must pause to sit back and audit our lives in the context of our experiences. This reflection gives us the capacity to make a self-diagnosis of the center around which we have lived our lives. You know, as you're all seated here, you have different centers, isn't it? Some are self-centered, some are pleasure-centered, some are business-centered, money-centered, religious-centered. I mean, yes, and that is the center majority of us have deployed as the philosophy of our lives, isn't it? But at 60, or there about 60, we are expected to move away from those centers and be God-centered. When I mean God-centered, I'm not talking of born again or NASFAT or having a traditional. I'm talking of defining a relationship between you and your Creator. Because it is true that you can actually, your life can actually be meaningful. It's not you buying a Range Rover new model now that anybody will hail you for, or you are building the biggest house in the town. But the capacity to reflect and move away from centers that have been destructive in terms of our marriage, destructive in terms of the way we have managed our families, destructive in the sense of the way we have managed our health, destructive in the sense of the way we have managed even our limited resources. So it says self-audit that must lead to a self-diagnosis. So marriage and remarriage, some of us have experienced betrayals, different forms. We have had setbacks, business setbacks, marital challenges. Some of us have had it, isn't it? At times I wonder where our fathers don't tell us that marriage is challenging. It is the mother that are always very excited. The father will just sit down. Not until you enter marriage and you know that it's hard work. Good for our mothers and our fathers here. And marriage at times has damaged people. You're lucky to have a mental health expert speaking to you, because there is no health without mental health. All of the physical illnesses that all of you have are traceable to where? Your mental health. Unfortunately, some of your experts, the cardiologists, the nephrologists, they will just do tests and say, Chief, relax, take it easy. Now that take it easy requires a low mental analysis that at times I was doing for this man, free of charge, and I need to collect my money today. Because in the process of trying to make a difference from the deprivations, the programmings we have had growing up, isn't it? We go to this other side. When we move to this other side, some of us can't balance again. And some of us will say it's because of the children that we are hustling. The children say we have enough now. But the man cannot stop. Because he's already. He's on. It's on the other side. So the analysis brings up a lot of issues that we may need to confront and resolve. Some of our children have become very independent. Some of our wives have turned the children against us men. Maybe because school fees, it is the wife that was saying, isn't it? Paying. And the children didn't know that the daddy that was not at home was the one making the money available. And because the women are almost always with the children, when they are praying, they say, God will not let you have a husband like your father. He's not always around. But if he's not around, where will you get the money for private? When my son wanted to enter medical school, my wife came to me and said, hey, at our child should not be going to public. I said, do you have money for... Unfortunately or fortunately, all of them, 3 are in medical school. One just graduated. So you can imagine if I have sent my children to Harvard, which is 7 million or 8 million, times 3. I'm sure I'll be giving this lecture by Zoom. Somewhere in Qatar. And I may not be there when the children are growing up too. So a good number of us have had to struggle to please our husbands, please our wives, in ways that also have damaged us. And if you don't confront the heal from the trauma, it destroys the rest of our lives. Some of us may become very difficult mother-in-laws, not because we, but because of the experiences some of us have been through. I was giving a lecture sometimes about menopause and growing up. Postmenopausal women are very troublesome if they don't realize it. The hormones themselves give them a lot of trouble. How can somebody be feeling hot and sweating under AC? And of course, you have tingling sensations, peppy sensations, and you begin to feel that the children have abandoned you because they have gone. You know, it is we used to block the men. Now they are gone. They are married. And you visit one time and you are just looking and see how the wife of your son is using 3 pieces of meat to chop and is happy with one. And you look at the girl and say, this is why you think. Do you know how much cooperative loans I collected to send this boy to school, and you are sending and you are giving me just 1 meat and you have to keep it in my face like this? So most of those combat is a product of it. Some of us may even be depressed because the emptiness syndrome, the hormonal effect, and the fact that some of us feel that time spent bringing up the children and the husband is moving up and down and has become a professor. Maybe I'm just a secondary school principal, that they have cheated me. That thought pattern can actually lead to depression. From depression, it begins to affect the physical health. There is no health without what? Mental health. And by the time we begin to think negatively, the blood pressure begins to respond. And it's going up. And it's going up. And oftentimes, some of us don't even want to accept it. Doctor diagnosed us that you are hypertensive and you don't take the medication. I have an uncle who said he knows how to measure his blood pressure. When he wakes up in the morning, you know how the blood pressure is. I said, without his feet, he said yes. He didn't take 3 months before he had stroke. You cannot be using your mind to measure blood pressure. There's a machine they have calibrated for you. And for people like you, it's say, you're qualified to be hypertensive. Because the challenges you have been through, your body system is going down. It doesn't mean you have failed in life. It doesn't mean it's a sinister thing. And that at your age, you must have to go for checkup because of some of these challenges we're talking about. A good number will also be able to identify a lot of, some people have also had financial setbacks. You are entitled to that. Not everybody will, but it's not the end of life. And being able to come back in a way that you can carry on. Some can have mentees rebellion. Some people you brought up when you were young, bringing them up in your place of work, you expect they will respond to you now, yes. Some of them may not even drive past you and not even greet you in ceremonies. When you take that to heart, you can send it to early grave. children get very independent and they are not appreciative of what you have done. Some even blame you for some of the things you have done for them in the past. Some don't even remember to come, such that if you take it to heart, it has a cascade effect on your health. The most terrible is marital issues, where one does not have an understanding of these things of life that men and women they go through. It's a serious thing. Loneliness is a very challenging disease of your age. Unfortunately, it's not something you go to a doctor and say, I'm lonely. It is through your self-audit. Why am I lonely? What can I do? How do I approach this season and make the best out of it? I'm going through all of this to let us realize that what they call non-communicable diseases, which is hypertension, heart failure, stroke, cancer, and all those physical morbidities that we see our internists for. These factors that contribute to it. And most oftentimes, 3 factors are responsible. One of them is genetics. You can't do anything about that, isn't it? The way some of us are made. Another is the environment, financial environment, subsidy removal, petrol. There's little or nothing you can do about that, isn't it? But there's lifestyle. Lifestyle changes. In midlife, which is 40 to 65, the most, about 60% of non-communicable diseases, stroke, heart attack, death, are linked to lifestyle. Now, these lifestyle changes are not within your profit. They are the abnormal coping mechanisms you are using to cope with this your self-audit. And it's unconscious. People who have not been drinking before, they start drinking more, isn't it? People will not even stop at beer level, they move to spirit, isn't it? And they continue. I have a friend who is into taking all this. And oftentimes, the reasons they give are all related to some of the issues I've highlighted. And so, in our field, there's what we call passive suicide. Passive suicide, you know, there's the normal suicide. I want to kill myself. I get rope, isn't it? Or train they come, I face one. The one that is common in this your old age, which you must not allow to take over your life, is passive suicide. When you refuse to take your drugs, doctor said you are hypertensive, take this, you refuse to take it. You are diabetic, take this. If you are diabetic, don't take this. It will make the sugar come, isn't it? Yes. But unconsciously, because of some of the challenges I've highlighted, you are not even aware of it. You are not in touch with it, but that's what is happening. You stop seeing your doctors. You keep violating the instructions your doctors have given you. Because something will kill somebody. When you hear somebody saying that, the person is either depressed. You know, a lot of our men are depressed. Maybe our wives don't know. But one of the signs of depression in Africa, it's not like the man will just go to one corner and say, I want to kill myself. No. He will stop taking his medication. He will drink more. He will not come home to sleep. That's the time we even want to go and test this thing with younger. Because when our wives at home have killed our libido, you know, the wire that connects our ego and our this thing is from ego. Yes. And this wire to this thing. Yes. So when you have a woman who keeps talking down at your ego, what happens to this thing? You go die. Never failure. And other times in Africa, manhood is tied to sexual, isn't it? Yes, power. So the thing is that you have tendency to go and now be chasing of a poly, student of other poly. And you have spent so much money. You have spent so much money to recruit this guy. And so you are getting scared. It's getting tonight. How will you now perform now? It's between your own ego and the amount of money you have spent, and then your life. You're on antihypertensive, and then you are drinking mokole. You know mokole now? That papa. All this supalaga. with antihypertensive. When they clash on the heart, what happens? Cardiac arrest. So this issue started from where?
From the head.
From your head. At this level, nobody can force anybody now to come and be doing 20 rounds. If you can do 1 round in a month, it's okay. Don't let anybody's heart harassing you. That is because, but because of our mindset, we think sexual virility is actually what makes you a man. Our definition of manhood is to leave a legacy, to nurture your relationship, and to grow and live a balanced life. But when you have a distorted perception of manhood, you think it's all about that, even in that age. I will leave room for questions. Don't let me go too much into talking. So the lifestyle changes that feed non-communicable diseases are within our purview. Diet, rest, being able to accept what God has brought our life. Not all of you are the same, isn't it? Then it tells me. I will say, please give me money, I want to spend money. He said he has never seen a man like me that I'm not ambitious. I said, I don't have your kind of ambition. He said I should go and buy a new car when I'm a lecturer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you want to kill me? And these bankers, they know how to give you money. They'll be smiling. When it's time to pay back and you miss 1 month like this, you're a very terrible and wicked set of people. I said I want to be sleeping and be waking up early in the morning. So I try to live within my means. Now that subsidy has come, let everybody calm down. Let our mothers calm down about ceremonies too. They want to do wedding ceremony. I've been warning my wife. There's going to do it. Nobody can push me beyond what I can. If you have the money, go and do it the way you want. And I've been telling the children. So ceremonies, people going overboard to go beyond what they have the capacity to do. Our marriages, let's find a way to resolve differences, isn't it? My wife posted something this morning in the church. He said that if you don't love your wife, you are going to be lonely, no day. Your wife will not. The women always, they are planning. They are planning to come and fight us. They don't know if we are also planning. It is our plan. Our plan apparently is that if you want to be happy in old age, try and enjoy your independence from your wife. What the strategy these women do is to make us to be dependent on them. What has happened in my own marriage in the last 5 years is that when my wife wants to do shakara, there's some things she will do for me she wasn't doing. I just talked to myself. I said, I didn't marry this woman to be my cook. I didn't marry her to be my laundry person. So I should be also be planning how I can have alternative to those services. And that her serving me or not serving me does not reduce my best. Hello? That has given me a lot of space to myself. In psychiatry, there's what we call activities of daily living. When people have dementia, cognitive decline, we measure severity, daily living. So we measure severity of dementia by how independent are you in taking good care of your life. Can you brush your teeth when you wake up? Can you do your little laundry, isn't it? Can you clean your space, your office? Yeah? Can you take your bath? Can you still drive yourself? Do you know how to send somebody to get you food and the kind of food you need? Yeah, these are things that will happen. Because women say that they will leave us, they go and meet children abroad. If they go abroad, the children are